Welcome to the weekly wrap-up for November 6th through 10th. We just completed our first full week since the merger passed. CUNA and NAFCU are set to become America's credit unions. We'll look a little more at what that means later on. We also kicked off our annual Salute to Veterans, sponsored by the Federal Home Loan Banks. We'll hear stories of how service members, veterans, and credit unions are related, including how Jupiter Bongolin's 21-year Navy career carries over to his work at Air Force Federal Credit Union, how Brian Fox's service and credit union volunteerism have kept him happy for a lifetime, and how Navy Federal Credit Union donated 1 million meals to veterans, service members, and their families. But first, the merger. After 94% of CUNA members and 86% of NAFCU members voted in favor of merging, America's credit unions will legally launch on January 1st, 2024. I'd like to thank our credit union members who have been engaged throughout this merger process, asking tough questions, holding us accountable, and helping us plan for the future, says CUNA President and CEO Jim Nussle, who will serve as President and CEO of America's Credit Unions. I am incredibly humbled to lead this new organization and fight for a stronger credit union industry. Your needs will remain our priority as we embark on this transformation over the next several months. Visit cuna.org/merger for more information. Now for our Salute to Veterans. We start at Air Force Federal Credit Union in San Antonio, Texas. That's where Jupiter Bongolin is, serving as a facility specialist at the $644 million asset credit union. He brings organizational and time management skills to the role, as well as a team-first mindset he learned during his 21 years in the military. You can't leave a man behind, says the former chief culinary specialist, who was deployed 7 times after joining the Navy in 1996. Our credit union is a pretty small group, and it feels great to develop and get people into the team mentality. There have been 2 main threads in Brian Fox's life, the military and the credit union movement. He sees both of those as adding value to America, and believes his more than 40 years of service in each has kept him happy for a lifetime. The retired U.S. Air Force Brigadier General still keeps up to date on what's happening in the world while serving on the board at $106 million asset Russell Country Federal Credit Union in Great Falls, Montana, a role he's held since 1981. He's seen significant crossover between his credit union career and military service, which included deployment to 13 countries. The military taught me to be engaged, disciplined, flexible, professional, and dependable, he says. I learned how to run a meeting effectively, how to keep it on track, how to give everyone a voice, and how to mechanize diversity of thought in the decision-making process. Let's go over to Navy Federal Credit Union to learn how the $166 billion asset institution donated more than 1 million meals to veterans, service members, and their families this fall. The No Plate Left Behind program, a partnership between the credit union and Feeding America, utilized an augmented reality experience that allowed anyone with internet access to fill a plate virtually and combat hunger for real. It's a message and mission near and dear to my heart, says Dottie Day, Vice President of the Winchester Branch and Contact Center Operations. As a veteran and military spouse, I know the unique challenges our service members face every day. There are a lot of service members out there who have food insecurities, so partnering with food organizations and pantries across the country is important to us. Visit NoPlateLeftBehind.com to learn more about the program, the food banks it supports, and why the credit union supports the fight against food insecurity. Read all of our veterans stories at news.cuna.org/veterans2023, and hear some of their stories on the latest episode of the CUNA News Podcast. Here's a clip from the episode.
But if you want to be happy for a lifetime, volunteer for something that adds value to America. Sure. And that's what, when you volunteer for a not-for-profit, or if you volunteer for our country's military, you are adding value to America. And to me, that's one of the most highest callings there is.
Now, over to CUNA's Senior Editor of Public Affairs Communications, Alex McVeigh, for a look at what's happening in Washington, D.C.
CUNA launched Credit Unions Vote this week, a campaign focused on getting members involved in the 2024 election. 44% of voters belong to a credit union, according to CUNA research, making this campaign an important way to get voters engaged. It centers around creditunionsvote.com, a free resource with information on voter registration status, candidates on the ballot, polling locations, and early and absentee voting. This campaign ties civic engagement with credit unions' ability to improve financial well-being and advance the communities they serve. We look forward to working together with leagues and credit unions to engage members throughout the election cycle. CreditUnionsVote.com will be updated leading up to Election Day, November 5th, 2024.
Thanks, Alex. Our credit union of the week is Pinellas Federal Credit Union in Largo, Florida. The $160 million asset credit union, which has been serving the community since 1956, is led by President and CEO Sherry Belcher and Board Chairman Sue Johnson. Learn more at pinellasfcu.org. Now for the week in credit union history. A credit union pioneer was born on November 5, 1854. Alphonse Desjardins went on to organize the first North American credit union, with his house in Quebec serving as the main office. All right, that's it for this week's wrap-up. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.
To stay up to date on these stories and more, subscribe to Credit Union Magazine, visit news.cuna.org, and listen to the CUNA News podcast at news.cuna.org/podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out the description for links to everything discussed in this video.